Hallo YouTube. Wir spielen heute The Beginner's Guide. Das ist von demselben Macher wie die Stanley Parable. Und ja, ich bin gespannt. Ich weiß gar nicht, worum es geht. Aber das ist ja eigentlich ganz gut. Ist an. Kann ich.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com.
Cool.
Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Das ist für eine süße Idee. Also muss ich mich informieren, ob Coda noch was gemacht hat. Bin ich schon irgendwo? Oh ja. Alter.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Wie cool, auch diesen Prozess mal mitzuerleben, wie jemand ein Spiel erstellt und das lernt.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
Ich da nicht durch?
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately, we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin shield evacuation.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room. Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Okay.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam.
Okay.
It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Sure.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Okay, cool.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Sieht aus wie der Bildschirmschoner von 1900. Kann ich irgendwas... Also ich kann mich nicht bewegen. Nee.
So try walking backwards. Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
Okay, das ist eine coole Idee. Ich kann wirklich nur zurückdrücken, also auch nicht links und rechts.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Das ist wie Kunst, finde ich. Also das ist nicht nur ein Spiel, sondern das ist Kunst. Ich lieb's. Achso, ich habe jetzt gar nicht vorgelesen, ne? How will she find the strength? Es geht leider nicht auf Deutsch übrigens, ich habe geguckt. Ist das cool? to
It's a short
confront
little
it.
thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that.
Nee,
Which
nice.
to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
You are now entering.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Okay.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Okay, wir werden immer langsamer.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Okay, das kann ich nicht alles
A
vorlesen.
room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Das ist brillant. Ich glaube, Coda ist ein Genius.
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that
Yeah.
it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Das ist mega. Ich lieb's total. Ich bin voll fasziniert.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it. Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot. So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. All right, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Okay, seid ihr bereit? Warte.
how about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
To feel? Das ist Kunst. Also ich meine, das ist, boah, krass. Krass. Ich find's richtig cool. You are now exiting.
Aha.
Okay.
So this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is. Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Ey, wenn das kein Künstler ist, oder Künstlerin, ich weiß ja nicht, welches Geschlecht Coda hat, aber ich finde das total genial. Das ist so cool, so surreal und so persönlich, und ich finde, es gibt auch sehr viel emotional her, je nachdem, wie man die Sachen interpretiert. Großartig. Also, wenn ich Games kreieren könnte und mit denen Kunst machen wollen würde, würde ich, glaube ich, sowas machen. Aber ich kann es nicht, deswegen krass. Cool. Okay. Ah, da kann ich nicht hin. Okay, dann muss ich wohl hier rein.
This prison, Funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Ja, das ist nett.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Ich finde, es kommt darauf an, was der Sinn des Spiels ist. Also möchte man ein Spiel kreieren, was irgendwie eine Story erzählt, die spielbar ist, oder möchte man etwas über die Person, die das Spiel gemacht hat, erzählen oder etwas mitteilen, wie halt in einem Kunstwerk. Und bei Coda sehe ich auf jeden Fall das zweite mehr. Das ist halt kein Spiel for the sake of playing, sondern halt, das ist ein emotionales Erlebnis. Weil es halt auch so unverständlich ist erstmal.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time.
Na. So kann ich denn das nicht hin? Okay. Muss ich erst hier irgendwas aktivieren? Nein. Was geht das denn nicht? Okay.
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
You there? Did you come
Here,
from up
Coda
above?
begins using a
What was
kind
up
of
there?
dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Yes, there were these floating colored blocks. That's the world above. You've been there. Now this is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. That was literally the last thing I did before coming here. Again, perfect. Now please, tell us how you solved it. Tell us the solution. Tell us how to get to the other side. Trust me, you don't want to go over there. Oh no, but I do. We do. We need to get there. Do you understand? It's the most important thing in the world. We have to escape this prison. There must be an ending. I promise you, there's nothing I want more. Ist das cool? I can't. Hello, how did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? Soll ich mal lügen? No, I've been right here this entire time. I suggest you go and see the puzzle sometime. It's not meant to be solved, but you can sit in the black space in the middle. Why would I sit in the black space? Well, it's plenty peaceful. It may not seem that way at first, but you'll come to think so in time, eventually.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level. It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Ich bin so gespannt. Nice room. Not. Okay.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person.
Verstehe ich.
In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually.
How do you beat this game? No point to this. Oh boy. Whoa, holy shit. Yeah. Indeed. Can you guys hear me? Hello. Reasonable.
Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
I'd rather be doing literally
But it's ironic,
anything
isn't
other
it,
than playing
that
this.
in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him.
Voll.
And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much. is because it felt like they let me have that connection.
Das meine ich mit den
I felt as
Emotionen.
though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
Ja. Das meinte ich mit den Emotionen, die übertragen werden, nicht das Spiel an sich. We're running out of space, soon we will suffocate. Cool cabin, bro. Do you feel like a hero yet? This game is no nice, I would like it when I could. Do not be afraid, do care. I just saw a flying penguin. Let me tell you, it was the most majestic thing I've ever seen. I don't feel like living because nothing will ever be as majestic as that. I never want to see again if nothing will ever be that beautiful again. I'm crying now and plan on ripping my eyes out. I must go now to do that. Yeah. How is there wood and grass and concrete here? What the fuck? Balls. I want to tell you a secret. Once upon a time I did. Define fun. I'm king of the world. Okay, springen wir jetzt da runter? Oder geht's hier noch weiter? Wir gehen hier weiter. What the shit is this cabin? Boring. I can assure you guaranteed that there's an acorn somewhere here in this place and the sailors are looking for it. Das ist so random, es ist so genial. Es ist... Oh, kann man auch da lang oder kommen wir da gleich hin? Hey guys, just looking for someone to talk with. Und gleichzeitig ist es auch so sad irgendwie. I refuse to believe. But as but. I need to go to the freaking bathroom. Bathroom. Recognize me, please. Kann ich jetzt hier raus? There's nothing here. Go back. Don't listen to that guy. Free t-shirt! Need other side. Door, why you so... Door, open. Open sesame. Makes game includes door. Cannot open door, thanks. Brilliant. Someday I will meet the person who made this. I help people because of the internal good feeling I get. New room. Do you hear the chimes? They keep you going, don't they? Ja, schon. I would like it very much to be desired. It's not very crowded here. Scared of writing something, don't want to feel judged. A game where you leave notes and suddenly everyone's a poet. Don't bother. You can go in here, I think. Irgendwie will ich alle lesen, aber this is where I get off. Ja, irgendwie auch nicht. I failed to write anything here. I'm compelled. Stop, turn back. Proceeding further will only result in misery. Okay, then I'm going. Take my hand, let's jump together. Okay. Ah, es geht nicht. Cabbage shapes our nation. What is that painting? Was mit Paint gemacht hat? It does not matter if you get over there. Very good game. Hey, don't talk about me that way. I think this is not going anywhere. Next time I will do better. I need someone to talk to. Is this a note? Don't listen to the other notes. I'm not safe. Ich hätte Coda gerne gekannt. Today I learned you cannot fall off. Ja. Ethical. I saw a person walking down there. No, it won't come back. Huh. Devil Tower Star. It's about how this game is pretentious and you all suck. Stop pretending you are other people. Who are all of you? Well done, all of you. Painting! What does it mean? Whoever made this has issues. Yeah, and I love it. And I'm here for it. Stop faking it. Art. Yes, art. Hey guys, how's it going? Just hanging. Hey, I'm trying to speak. I think it's about how things look messy from up close and perfect from far away. From up here, it just looks like just dots. Cabbage-shaped zonation, das hat man schon. We will all die someday. Spoilers, it doesn't mean anything. Devil Tower Star hat mir auch schon. Maybe I'll feel real someday. He was, himself, the most horrible creature he could imagine. Ich find's richtig cool. Es ist so, ja, wie der Sprecher gesagt hat, David, glaube ich, war sein Name, es lässt einen so in die Gedanken von Coda rein. Und es ist so gefühlvoll und ein bisschen Nonsens, aber irgendwie voll nachvollziehbar. Well, I'm here now. Yeah, we're all here now. There must be a reason for it, though. His terrible secret, he kept it well. I beat the game! More room?
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
Become one with the spiraling nonsense. Downward, keep digging.
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Does this puzzle have a solution? Oh my god, I've been here literally for an hour. What the fuck do I do? Help. Help. Shit, how you solve it? Developer, answers please.
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
I'm heading back to the start later, guys. Guys, it's not so bad in here. No solution. There's no second switch. No answer, I think. Wie es jetzt wieder klappt. Komm schon. Dankeschön. Absolut großartig. Ich lieb's. How do you leave notes? Warum ist es hier so laut? Oh, typewriters. Are you there? Please say something. It can be anything. I just need you to say something. Talk to me, please. Why are you having so much difficulty talking? Speak, speak, speak.
Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Zu breit für diese Türen.
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? Put a giant hole in the ground. Well, close enough. Okay, now what about along the wall of the room? I'd really like a washing machine. I think we should light up this room a bit. We'll put live Tesla coils in each corner. Yeah. Okay. And a table. You need a table. Tables were invented in 1935. Nice.
There's a bit more to this one, but still it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
Love that.
So okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello, please walk forward. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. Take care that you remember each step. Schwierig. First, click on this table. Good. Go over to the photo frame and click to turn it slightly. Now turn the floor lamp in this room off, then turn it back on. Now go to the left side sofa, move it over a little. Finally, touch the shelves. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. Okay.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this, to see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop, that particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Ich meine, der Prozesswendung ist ja für jede Person anders. Wenn er letztendlich dann gefunden hat, was er machen wollte oder was ihn glücklich macht, dann ist es ja das Richtige. Kann ich da rein? Nee. Es ist nur dieser Lampposten, wetten. Hello? Who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you from after you escaped the prison. You're me? So you were trapped in this prison too?
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Yes, I was in the escape tutorial. That's where I am right now. I'm so glad to know that I get out eventually. What's it like to escape? It feels like being completely still and wildly in motion at the same time. Do you feel any different? Sometimes I'm scared I'll get out and then things will be exactly the same as before. It actually does change. I don't feel like the same person at all. Oh, good. That's so nice to hear. That makes me feel really happy. It's still me, but I'm not somehow. It's hard to describe. Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? Yes, I did get a call. That's how I escaped. Ist einfach Nein ausgewählt. Then can you tell me how to get out? Maybe I can come find you. What do I have to do? To get out, you need to tell me how you feel right now. What? That will free me? How does that work? It will make sense. Okay, I feel afraid that nothing will ever change. Go on.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games.
Voll.
After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
This is nice.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Well, my goodness. I'm glad as heck that you showed up. Thought I might be having to clean this entire house all by myself, and right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands make lousy homes.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Are we cleaning this whole place? That's the story, little one. Oh, don't you worry now. We'll be through this mess in no time. I promise you'll wish there was more. Why don't I finish up here, and in the meantime, could you please clear the table? Sure. Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. Now would you please run into the bedroom and make the bed? Yes. Schönes Haus. While you're in there, why don't you straighten out the rug a bit? All the little details matter. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? Well, I don't enjoy it so much as I need it. While I'm working, I feel kind of calm that rests in the pit of my ribcage. My soldiers can't be soothed any other way, it seems, which I guess is about all that matters. Oh, and that and a tidy couch. Would you straighten the pillows on the sofa out here? Yeah, I would. Oh dear, looks like someone spilled a drink over by the couch. Maybe mop up as long as you're over there? Sure. I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? And make it especially cheesy. No. No, we're stupid, sorry. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Last I checked, the tub needed a cleaning. How about you scrub it down as best as you can? No need to be perfect, we're all just human. Are the books still scattered on the floor of the bedroom? If so, would you put them back on the shelf? Sure. Perfect. Now then, how about you come and clear these dishes off the table?
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Ja, brilliant. Do these chores ever end? Darling, let me tell you something. Whatever work you do, you have absolutely got to own it, otherwise it owns you. So why don't we be with the task at hand and leave the future chores to future you? Present you wants to smooth out the rug in the bedroom, believe it or not.
Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Earlier, when I said I had a really cheesy thought, I was going to say that it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it, and it takes care of you. Don't know why it felt so weird about saying that. But there's a bit of truth in it, no? Anyway, so, housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books, would you please clean up the books? Thanks. Oh goodness, those pillows over on the couch are
I'm
real
glad he
nice.
made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
Ja. Das hat alles so einen traurigen Touch. And I live for that. Question.
But,
Do you
of
enjoy
course,
this?
it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
Brilliant. Das ist so cool. Ich meine, ich weiß nicht, ob ihr das wisst, aber ich mal gern und zeichne. Und ich mag auch so surreale Sachen, aber das dann in 3D zu haben, was nicht nur ein Video ist, sondern du kannst es durchleben und du kannst interagieren, das ist so krass. Ich lieb's.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
Could be.
This one gets a bit goofy.
Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to become perfect. The workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your own life? Who do you know is so well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself? Compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful. I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. And the question is not how we do it, but how we do it effortlessly. This is easy. It is so easy. It is so easy.
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
Fucking what? Being perfect is effortless.
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
This is the key. How do I achieve it with no effort? Being alone must be awful. If you're torturing yourself trying to find the right solutions for your life, you're not doing it right. Ew, I'm developing a cyst. Gross. Just kidding. Oder there's no truth, there's no path. Ja, ich sag mal, there's no truth. What if I'm not a good teacher? Nothing. No one.
I fell pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days. This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Yes, you're superliminal. Oh no, ich wusste es. Alright, the performance is beginning. Places, please. In this scene, you will be playing as me. We are at a gathering of professionals. First, you'll start out leaning against this wall. Okay. Good. Stay right there. The woman across the room, in this chair, is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello? Hello? That's it? That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her, be a human being. Do it again. Here are all of my hopes and dreams. No, that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Now talk to her again. You must have worked really hard to get where you are. You're messing it all up again. You freak her out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Und da war's zu schnell. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. Okay. Okay. Okay, yes. Now this is working.
The game ends with
This
this
is what it
eerie
looks like.
premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with his person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Obvious trip. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Okay. Captain, what can we do? I can't die like this. What's going on? There was a giant door and then my vision went black. Please tell me how to solve this. Da oben ist die Truth. Kann ich die noch erreichen? Nee, ne? Ich nicht. Wow. Kann ich die doch erreichen?
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
The only way to stop is to speak something that is honest. Can't keep making these. Yes, that's it. That's the truth. It's draining.
Like
me.
I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So Where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way. His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Where am I? Ooh. Nice. Where did this island come from? How did I get out of here? Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. When I try to create, I feel empty. Oh no. What's happened? Did something change? I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me to start it again. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. I need to see it to know why it stopped. I can take you to it,
if the
but there's a
last
problem.
game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
Surviving. Come along, I'll show it to you.
Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
Sorry.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Okay, here we are. These are just words on some walls. Trust me, you'll see. You have to say that your work's fun and easy. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous and that you love it 100% all of the time. Sure, making games is easy. Ah, that feels wonderful. Why did the walls just crumble? Don't worry about it, just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. It is easy, it never stops being easy. That's
Seeing
wonderful.
this game
Keep
at the
going.
time that he made it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Es geht halt nicht um dich.
I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Das ist gerade ein bisschen problematisch, dass der Sprecher so viel auf sich bezieht, wie er fühlt und so, und nicht auf Coda eingeht, wie They sich vielleicht gefühlt hat. Also vielleicht brauchte Coda das ja auch zu dem Zeitpunkt, auch wenn es nicht... Vielleicht hat Coda das alles nicht überlebt, aber vielleicht hat es zu dem Zeitpunkt ja dazu beigetragen, dass Coda länger überlebt hat oder irgendwie vielleicht ein bisschen glücklicher sein konnte. Ich weiß nicht. Ich finde, es ist ein bisschen zu sehr ich bezogen gerade. Aber vielleicht weiß ich ja auch einen wichtigen Teil noch nicht. Ma'am, glad to see you've arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. I intend to be quick. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing that you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. Oh, bloody hell. Fragen.
And of course, it's the machine.
You stopped. Your work was keeping us alive. How could we possibly go back to trusting you to do this job? I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. No, nothing? Alright then, I will apologize to the people on your behalf. Nee. Nicht? Nee. My followers have a troubling revelation. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. We will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us show it that we are not failures. Follow me, we will destroy the machine oder everything that the machine has created. Also als Künstler wahrscheinlich eher 2, aber ich würde jetzt 1 nehmen, hoffen, dass er überlebt. They überlebt. Oh shit. Okay, das ist ein bisschen geil. Kann ich da durch? Jetzt kann ich da durch. Oh, das ist hier, okay. Ich
So
finde
now the work is
genius.
becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for it? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral?
Vielleicht
Would it
möchte
give
er
him
das nicht.
confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Weiß nicht. Also wenn Coda das wollte, dann hätte man ja darüber sprechen können, dass They das selber macht, aber das für Coda zu machen, finde ich nicht richtig.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Put down your weapon.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do?
Kann nur schießen.
Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something, I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem.
Nope.
When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
Also ich verstehe den Drang, helfen zu wollen, vor allem wenn es ein guter Freund ist, aber...
So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while.
Okay.
So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
Ja, also nur weil was für mich selber funktioniert, heißt es ja nicht, dass es für andere Leute auch funktioniert. Natürlich möchte man helfen und gerade wenn es einem Freund, einer Freundin schlecht geht, dann das möchte man nicht und dann möchte man was tun, aber manchmal kann man das halt nicht und man kann die Leute nicht retten. So. Also das müssen sie irgendwie selbst machen,
this is where I have
beziehungsweise...
trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
Jetzt habe ich den Faden verloren, aber ja, heißt nicht, dass es auch für andere Leute funktioniert. Die müssen sich letztendlich selber da rausholen. Natürlich mit Hilfe, das ist absolut in Ordnung, aber man muss es halt selber wollen, auch die Hilfe anzunehmen. Und wenn Coda das nicht möchte und auch nicht möchte, dass seine Games irgendwie gezeigt werden, na, dann ist es halt so, ne? Auch wenn David das Freude bringt. Was ich voll verstehen kann. Also ich fühle das total, aber es ist halt nicht immer der richtige Weg. Aber das ist schon krass. Sehr, sehr kalt hier. Sehr isoliert. Und immer diese Spotlights, aber ohne Licht. Vielleicht
This
sind
room
das so
actually has a maze in it.
amazing. Vielleicht sind das so Lights of Hope. Also, wow.
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Das wiederum finde ich großartig, weil uns das quasi zeigt, wie Coda denkt und auch wie er fühlt. Also, dass er quasi diese große Fläche vor sich sieht, durch die er einfach drüber laufen kann, aber dann ist es doch nicht so einfach, wegen wahrscheinlich seinen Mental Health Struggles, die man aber halt nicht sehen kann und in die man einfach reinläuft, und wenn man dann zum Beispiel getriggert wird, dann ist es einfach instant richtig scheiße, so wie diese flackernden Lichter. Das finde ich schon, das ist schon cool gemacht, also es gibt so eine tiefe Einsicht in Codas Innenleben und ja, aber es macht mich auch traurig, dass jemand halt so fühlen muss. Ich hoffe, Coda hat es geschafft, irgendwie da rauszukommen, aber weil das ist brillant. Also das ist so schön. Es ist so, es gibt mir so viel. Also es ist, als wäre ich in Codas Gehirn drin durch diese Kunst. Und das liebe ich. Also das macht Kunst für mich aus, dass ich was fühle, was die Person, die es geschaffen hat, übermitteln wollte. Und das ist
And to be fair,
großartig.
it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't.
Nein.
I still don't really understand why this is here.
Der
I'll
Coda
put the
nicht
code on the
weiterkommt.
ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
5, 1. Äh, 6, 1, 7. Ich finde, das zeigt ganz doll, wie verzweifelt Coda ist und scheiße. Wie Coda einfach keine Ideen mehr hat und alles irgendwie sinnlos ist, aber irgendwie auch nicht. Also ich finde es toll. Wer hätte das gedacht?
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem.
Das sehe ich
I feel
anders,
like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem.
aber es ist auch nicht dein Problem.
But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
Ich finde eher, dass es zeigt, dass um Coda zu verstehen, reicht es halt nicht, das Spiel zu spielen, weil es nicht richtig spielbar ist, sondern man muss dahinter gucken, in den Code und das Spiel ein bisschen nutzerfreundlicher machen, so dass man es wirklich spielen kann. Aber es ist eigentlich gar nicht unbedingt da, um gespielt zu werden, sondern eher um Coda zu verstehen. Wenn man dann aber das Spiel so tweakt, dass man es wirklich spielen kann, kann man Coda auch noch besser kennenlernen. Also eigentlich finde ich das Ja, es ist so eine Geschichte und es hat so mehrere Ebenen. Also einmal das Spiel an sich, was aber kein Spiel ist, sondern irgendwie Kunst. Und dann denkt man, oh, das ist jetzt vorbei. Aber wenn man dann in den Code guckt und ein bisschen was ändert, dann kann man doch noch weiterspielen. Also da ist noch viel mehr hinter der Person, hinter dem Spiel, als man initial sieht. Das
Was
ist
I a failure for not
brillant.
understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow.
Also es geht nicht um die
I
Lösung.
feel like I failed, and I don't understand why.
Genau, es geht nicht um die Lösung, es geht darum, Coder wahrzunehmen und zu sehen und zu verstehen, im besten Fall nachzuvollziehen, wie er denkt. Und nicht lösungsorientiert zu sagen, hey, du musst das und das machen, dann geht's dir besser. Das funktioniert nicht immer. Und darum geht's auch
I
oft
remember,
nicht.
it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time. And as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
Okay, ich kann hier nicht runter. Muss ich wieder hier raus? Hier runter? Auch nicht. Hm. Ja, die 3 Punkte würden mich auch interessieren. Da habe ich auch noch keine Idee. Aber, würde ich mir aufhängen, ne? Finde ich großartig. Also, das Bild an sich auch, aber halt wegen der Geschichte dahinter. Das gibt mir so viel emotional. Das ist alles, was ich je wollte, alles, was ich liebe.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed.
Naja, du bist ja auch nicht für ihn verantwortlich, ne?
Where did I screw up?
You didn't. Dear Davy, thank you for your interest in my games.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did.
I need to ask you to not
I
speak to me
poisoned it
anymore.
for you.
Krass, das ist hart. Vielleicht, weil Davy die Kunst nicht verstanden hat, weil es eben nicht darum ging, etwas zu spielen, sondern darum, etwas zu vermitteln, emotional. Und Davy halt auch ein bisschen übergriffig war damit, dass er einfach die Sachen von Coder anderen Leuten gezeigt hat und gesagt hat, hey, sag dir mal, wie toll das ist, wenn Coder das eigentlich gar nicht wollte. Und es vielleicht auch nur ein Hobby war, was nicht
I don't think I
kommerzialisiert
ever
werden
told you
sollte.
this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
I wonder at times whether you think I'm making these games for you. Ja, also dass Davy einfach zu ich-bezogen daran geht. Den Eindruck hatte ich ja auch schon. You
And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
Da haben wir es. You've so infected my personal space that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere, hidden between games. If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Ach, wie ein geiles Bild. Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Yeah. Giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe. Ja, genau, das meine ich. Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them. Okay. Ich dachte, die kämen von Coder selbst.
And then you stopped, and I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
Would you simply let them be what they are? Wow. When I'm around you, I feel physically ill. Das ist so schön gemacht. Ich fände geil so eine Online-Ausstellung mit so Text, wo man durchgehen kann. Oder vielleicht so Hologramme oder sowas. Boah, kann das mal jemand machen? You desperately need something and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just a part of the process. Yeah. The fact that you think I am frustrated or broken says more about you than about me. Yeah. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine, you're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks and that you make peace with this thing that you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
And when you finally see what I'm talking about, don't say anything. Es ist brillant, ich liebe es. Also wie er auch durch die Games kommuniziert und Genius, absolut Genius. Und ich krieg das nicht geklickt. So. Achso.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work,
yeah.
But I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Yeah. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Also ich kann es verstehen, dass man sich entschuldigen möchte. Aber das genau wieder auf die Art zu tun, die Coda nicht wollte und sich verletzt gefühlt hat.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
Oder ist Davy Coda umgekehrt? Also auch dieses, du musst wieder Games machen und so, das sagt man doch FreundInnen nicht. Also wenn die das nicht wollen, dann wollen die das nicht. Das ist doch total übergriffig. Deswegen, vielleicht spricht er auch wieder nur mit sich selbst, so wie es in den ganzen Spielen tut. Plot Twist.
Solution. I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed.
Übergriffig.
Maybe he just likes making prisons.
Ja.
Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
Was für ein Disease? Das hören wir jetzt zum ersten Mal.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be?
Dein eigener Selbstwert.
It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable.
Verstehe ich.
Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
Ja. Fühle ich voll, aber das darf halt nicht alles sein. Also natürlich darf man seine Arbeit von anderen validiert haben und natürlich ist es schön gesagt zu bekommen, so das, was du machst, ist cool und bedeutet mir was. Aber es ist nicht alles. Es geht darum, was man selber dabei fühlt. Dass man das nicht für andere macht. Und sich nicht beweisen muss irgendwie.
What now?
Finde ich. Ne? Alles nur meine Meinung. Oder meine Erfahrung.
I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do.
Ja.
I have a lot that I need to make up for. And so I'm just gonna... Okay.
Ich war früher so eine Person, die gesagt hat, boah, wenn die Grafik nicht geil ist, dann ist das Spiel nicht geil, ne? Aber hier, ich meine, es sind Blöcke und dieses Spiel ist so viel. Ist so schön. Und so sad. Das erinnert mich sehr an die Endszene von Stanley Parable 2. Ob Davy sich da was abgeguckt hat von Coda? Oder ob die doch eine Person sind? Ah, wie schön. Finde ich cool. War jetzt nicht klar, sterben wir oder floaten wir wieder?
Turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going.
Ja.
But the cave goes for miles and miles and miles. And you're so tired.
Also ich bin nicht begeistert davon, was Davy gemacht hat, weil es, wie gesagt, übergriffig war, alles, was ich eben gesagt habe, meiner Meinung nach. Aber ich kann es total nachvollziehen, dass man sich so hilflos fühlt, wenn man anderen nicht helfen kann und gleichzeitig auch gerne diese Validierung haben möchte von außen und wenn die wegfällt, sich leer fühlt. Verstehe ich. Aber Psychologie aside, also das Spiel. Würde mich nicht wundern, wenn jetzt sowas kommt. Nein, okay. Das Spiel fand ich grandios. Also, ich habe es ja, glaube ich, während des Spielens schon die ganze Zeit gesagt, wie toll ich das finde und was es mir alles gibt. Und ich brauche das jetzt nicht wiederholen, aber das war für mich eins der bedeutungsvollsten Spiele seit langem. Und auch künstlerischen Spiele, die ich ja besonders mag. Hat es mir, glaube ich, sogar noch besser gefallen als die Stanley Parable. Die aber auch gut war, also versteht mich nicht falsch, aber einfach, ja, dieses in den Kopf anderer Leute schauen zu können, beziehungsweise versuchen zu begreifen, wie jemand anders denkt, wie jemand anders fühlt und das durch Kunst, also seien jetzt Malerei oder Fotografie oder halt Videospiele. Ich wünschte, ich könnte das. Ich finde das, also das, ja, macht mich kaputt. Ich finde das großartig. Und ja, wenn ihr bis hierhin geschaut habt, lasst bitte ein Like da. Das bedeutet mir viel. Zeigt mir, dass ihr meine Videos ganz cool findet. Und teilt es gerne mit euren FreundInnen. Danke fürs Zuschauen. Bis bald.
Turn back. Turn back from this cave. You said